We have really excellent weather to ring in the new year.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, you can't really ask for much better weather when you're talking the end of December, temperatures in the 60s. Yeah, and it really wasn't all too bad today. We did end up in the 50s, but right now it's certainly a little bit chilly. I know the Parker McCollum concert's going on downtown. A lot of people out and about, and hopefully they brought a jacket because, yeah, by the time the concert ends, probably ending right about now or so, but 39 degrees, south-southeast wind at 6 miles an hour, wind chills down to 35, so definitely different from where we started earlier today, but temperatures have now dropped down into the mid and upper 30s across the north, lots of low to mid 40s across the south with a south wind between about 5 to as much as around 15 to at times 20 miles an hour in far western Oklahoma, but eventually that wind should be light for almost everyone overnight tonight. We've got this wave over Texas that's continuing to kind of move off to the north and east, but weakening quite a bit, so we haven't had any rain in southeast Oklahoma, although it looked like at times it certainly wanted to rain, and we do want it to rain, but we just can't seem to quite get it in there. But you know, tomorrow and Sunday look fantastic. Temperatures in the 60s. It looks dry, so if you have any New Year's plans, tomorrow is going to be great. But as we get into Monday, we're still watching this next more powerful storm system that looks like it's definitely going to bring a chance of rain and storms. The problem is, where are they going to end up being? Because right now it hasn't even made landfall yet, so we're going to have to fine-tune it as we get a little bit closer, but nonetheless, a lot of the data is still trying to bring in a chance of storms, but primarily in far eastern Oklahoma. Some data does bring in storms in Oklahoma City, and if we do get these storms, they have the potential of becoming severe, so we're going to watch it very closely. But behind that, it is going to be pretty chilly. Temperatures drop down into the 40s by the time we get into Tuesday, and then we're going to have this other wave move in. It's going to be dry for us, but what it will do is just kind of reinforce that colder air that's going to be in play. So 40s will hang around for a few days. Eventually after that, temperatures go back into the 50s. This next wave moves in by next weekend, but it's looking pretty dry as well. And then after that one moves by, it actually looks milder with highs climbing back into the 50s and potentially the 60s for some. So some ups and downs, but nothing too dramatic at this point. Temperatures tonight eventually dropping down to about 34 degrees in Oklahoma City, but 33 in Ponca City, the upper 20s in Alva, the upper 30s and 40s across the far south and southeast. Tomorrow afternoon, that wind's going to be picking up a little bit more out of the south, between about 10 to 20 miles an hour. So with that being said, that's going to help to work in our favor and push temperatures into the low 60s in Oklahoma City, but 64 in Stillwater, 66 in Ada, about 68 degrees in Durant, and 64 down there in Idabel. So again, if you're headed out for New Year's Eve during the day, it's going to be fine. Later in the evening, it's going to be a little bit more chilly. We're going to keep it partly cloudy. The wind's going to be light. By midnight, temperatures still in the upper 40s. So yeah, really nice for the end of December. And as we start out January, it's going to start out not like how it should. Temperatures this time of year should be in the upper 40s, but now we're going with 64 degrees in Oklahoma City, the upper 60s across the south, but the colder air will start to slowly make its way into northwest Oklahoma. So I know Alva kind of looks different, but yeah, it's only going to be about the upper 40s, low 50s in the northwest. And then on Monday, that colder air slowly trying to make its way through as the cold front eventually moves in, but still looking for mid 60s at its best in Oklahoma City later in the afternoon. Eventually that will come down once the rain and storms start to get going. But as of right now, I think there's still a pretty good chance along and east of I-35. That also pretty much includes I-44. So down there around Comanche County, I think there's still a chance of rain and storms during the day, but the threat for severe weather will primarily be east of I-35. Still going to go with Oklahoma City at this point, but we'll fine tune it as we get a little bit closer to the actual event. But wind and hail will certainly be a possibility during that time. So again, for this weekend, it looks nice and mild. Temperatures in the low 60s for tomorrow. For New Year's Eve night, it's going to be nice. It's going to be dry, partly cloudy. Temperatures only dropping into the 40s around midnight. But for New Year's Day itself, we're going to be in the mid 60s. We're going to stay in the mid 60s on Monday. By Tuesday, it's going to be a little bit more chilly. We're dropping down into the 40s. Again, 40s sticking around for at least a few days, but then after that, temperatures start to go back up. So all in all, it doesn't look bad. We're just going to continue to watch that chance of storms on Monday.